Why is this the best time to live on Earth ever?
This is the best time to live on Earth because the dissolution of an old paradigm is happening right in front of us. And the birth of a new paradigm is happening. And we're at a stage of our development as a species where we can and we must participate in our own unfoldment and the unfoldment of the species. All of this is, we're in a powerful moment of intensity, which allows for our growth, development, unfoldment to happen more rapidly than any time in human history. This is a good day in every way.
Thank you. So then why you used a very interesting, a loaded word there. We must participate. What does that mean to you?
Basically, we're full to overflowing with infinite potential. The universe does not like wasted potential. So we have a mandate to actually activate our potential. We are here not to merely live in survival. We're here to actually thrive with the activation of our potential for the period of time that we have a body. Now, there used to be an old theological perception that said that we were to be good until we die and then go to heaven. Now we know that that's an old, worn-out theology that doesn't fit anymore with the teachings of mysticism and quantum reality. We're here with the body to bring that which we would call heaven to earth. Heaven is expanded good. Heaven is love. Heaven is intelligence. Heaven is kindness. Heaven is beauty. So we're letting go of the concept of waiting to go to heaven, and we're embracing that this time by which we have a body, we're to activate potential. So we must do this. We didn't come here just to accumulate a bunch of stuff, play the game of getting stuff and then dying. We came to activate our potential, have it be a part of our consciousness, and take it with us anywhere that we go after that.
Thank you. And this is the good stuff. This is the exact, dare I say, opposite of the old school law of attraction. And so I'm wondering how either your ideas have changed or how much the world has changed since the time of The Secret.
Well, when I was doing The Secret, my ideas were pretty much the way it is now, that we were here to radiate, to activate potential within us, and then the linguistic convenience of that is the law of attraction. It looks like we're attracting things to us, but that's just a linguistic convenience, basically saying that whatever you're holding in awareness, you manifest, you bring it into visibility. It looks like attraction, but it's really a radiance from the depth of your being, and then that radiance condenses itself as opportunities, potential, possibilities, serendipity, coincidences, and ultimately manifestation. So I think the law of attraction it catches a certain a basic understanding, but it's actually, you are becoming something in consciousness. You're actually becoming a higher frequency, which then manifests as experiences in your life.
Thank you. Will you talk about something called the law of luminosity? And here's what I'm understanding. We have this light within us. The light didn't even start with us. We're a fiber optic cable back to source. There is this light within us. When we start to, as you call it, activate our potential, that light starts to shine through. We become the harbinger. We become the wayfarer holding that lantern for everyone else around us.
Absolutely. When we hear the words, we are the light that lights up every man, every being, every individual, every woman, every them, every they that comes to the planet, the same light that was found in the avatars who have walked before us. That's not prose. That's not metaphor. That's not poetry. That's a description of our identity. We are luminous beings. We are that light. Now, last January, as an example, I was about to do a program such as I'm doing with you now. And I always meditate, of course, before I do anything. I'm sitting on my couch, meditating, getting prepared for the class I'm about to teach. And when I opened my eyes, I was blind. I was blinded by the light. I couldn't see. The light was so bright that I could not see anything in front of me. So I called in Reverend Kathleen McNamara, Lee Simon Brown, who you just met. And I said, I can't do the program right now. I can't see anything. It was just the brilliance, ecstasy, bliss. And then when I looked in the direction of Lee, and I looked in the direction of Kathleen, I saw this fountain of light in them, just cascading. And I realized once again that that was their real identity. Their real identity was light. And they had a body, they had a mind, they had an astral body, they had subtle bodies, but they're real, who they really were, who we really are is light. Now, the only thing about that particular experience was that I've had it before, but that particular one was the first time it ever happened publicly or when there was witnesses to it. Normally that happened at home, in my meditation, in my sleep, but that really confirmed again for me that when we say we are the light, we are luminous, it's not poetry, even though poems and songs have been written about it. It's really our real identity. And when we enter into spiritual practice in a whole soul devotional manner, that light, as you just said, we become more luminous. The luminosity of love and beauty, intelligence flows through us, and we do become a light unto the world.
Thank you. I want to talk about our soul plan, being true to our soul, all of these things. But before I do that, it's very interesting what you said, because there's been a theme coming up since our question number one here, that in a sense we have things backwards. First off, we think this is the worst time to be alive when it's the best time to be alive. Secondly, we think that we are less than and that we are anything but the light, when our real identity is this incredible light and greatness, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what has happened is that individuals have allowed their minds, inadvertently, not on purpose, to become hijacked by fear and worry and doubt and a deep sense of separation from source. And when the mind is hijacked that way, it can be inundated with all kinds of lies, and a lie acts as a law until it is neutralized. So that individuals whose mind has been hijacked, they develop a personal law of lack, a personal law of fear, anxiety, anxiousness, and they actually believe that's reality. No, that's just their experience of reality, but it is not reality. Reality is that this presence, by whatever name you choose to call it, is everywhere in its fullness. And that through our intentionality and spiritual practice, we begin to open up and see reality for real, not just a figment of reality, which are the thought forms that our mind has been hijacked by.
It's interesting, because to me there is an energetic, I'm going to go old school on us, an old school TV where you actually had to tune it in, Michael. There is a mistuning of information. You said the lie acts as a law until it's neutralized. It's about energy. To me, when I see somebody stuck in pain, in fear, in worry, and in anxiety, they have this tremendous amount of energy going through them. They just need to tune into the right channel to perceive it differently. When that lie is neutralized, you've got the same amount of energy, but now it's taking you where you want to go.
Absolutely. And this is the blessing and the bane of the human experience. You can change your mind. You can make up your mind. You can I like to say, and my upcoming podcast is going to be called this title. I like to say you can actually take back your mind so that it's not hijacked by the lesser use of the law. And it's actually infused with possibility and potential and affirmation and love. But you have to take it back. You can't just walk lockstep in the present paradigm. We didn't come here to do that. We came to shatter the paradigm so that our time on the planet is actually an adventure of shattering the present paradigm so that we as humanity become greater and greater visions and versions of ourselves.
Woohoo! What you're talking about is alchemy. Spiritual alchemy, turning lead to gold, turning what we think is one thing into what it was always meant to be, or truly is, once we change our vision, isn't it?
Absolutely. The master alchemist knew a couple of things. One of the things they knew is that in order to turn lead to gold, you had to have just a tiny bit of gold. It didn't have to be a lot, but but you had to have the frequency of gold. And if you had the frequency of gold, then they can alchemize the lead so that the lead would vibrate at a higher and higher frequency until the lead actually became gold. So all we need is a tiny bit of faith, a tiny bit of spiritual practice, a tiny bit of intention, a tiny bit of having dominion over our attention, just a tiny bit of gratitude. You can take just a little bit of gratitude every single day and alchemize your entire life. You can actually change the leaden, stagnated place in your life into the golden hue of possibility by spiritual alchemy, having just a little bit. This is why we teach often, just look for something to be grateful for. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be grateful that you have a breath. You can be grateful that you woke up this morning. You can be grateful that someone gave you a compliment. It doesn't matter. But if you start with something like that, you can basically transform your whole perception, which will generate different thought forms, which will generate different experience, and you've become a master alchemist of your own soul.